Hi, this is Zinny Zan, and you are watching CMS TV.
It is Chris Akin Presents, and I, of course, am Chris Akin. And today on the show, we are going to be reaching into the present and into the past, I guess. We are going to be talking about the return, sort of Zinny Zan and Harry Cody. Of course, you remember them from The Great Shotgun Messiah. And they are back. They have a new release coming out, Beautiful and Damned, on July the 24th. Released a couple of singles, which have both been excellent. And here we go to talk about it with the man himself, the vocalist of the band, Mr. Zinny Zan. Zinny, how are you, man?
I'm fine, thank you, Chris, and thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Well, I'm just going to dive right in, man. I'm going to ask you, where have you been? I mean, I know that you've done other bands and projects and whatnot, but you know as well as I do, there has been a calling for Shotgun Messiah to come back from the beginning of this whole 80s resurgence, way back, I would say in the mid 2000s with like Rocklahoma. I started hearing about Shotgun Messiah coming back. You've kind of held off until now. So what brings you and Harry together to start making music again?
Well, first of all, again, Shotgun Messiah was and still is a fantastic band, and I was the lead singer of the original lead singer of the band, and I did one album. Shotgun Messiah do still exist though, but it's with Harry and Tim, and they have things that they have done already. Okay. Whenever that's going to be released, I don't know. You have to talk to either Tim or Harry about that one. But again, it's fantastic to be back with Harry, and that came about really. You know, we've been in talks here and there, Merry Christmas, Happy Birthday, how are you, every now and then. And, just keeping in touch because, of course we have a background together and we did the whole thing from Sweden over to the US back then when it all happened at the Strip and so on. So we have a background and it just came about. I think that I asked him once and said that if you would like to do some guitar work sometime. And he said yes. And I thought that, wow, really cool. And thinking about it then, because I had my own band, like Zinny Zan only. And I go like, oh my God, I can't do that. I can't ask him to play guitar on my stuff. Because again, if I'm going to play with him, we're going to do it on equal terms. So I asked Harry and I said, Harry, no, I can't do that. I would love to do something with you instead. And, the two of us. And he said, well, let's try. Let's see what we have. And if we have that spark still that we used to have, because, again, he lives in Palm Springs. I live in Stockholm, Sweden. And so we were sending some ideas that we had. And I threw away some ideas to him and he right back at me. And we just found out that, hey, it was so easy. We still have it. And so we said, all right, here's 2 songs, here's 2 more. And all of a sudden we go like, hey, it could be a 4-track, it could be a 6-track. And then like, hey, let's do an album. And that's what we did. So we were recording and had a couple of my old colleagues and friends from Sweden helping us out, with drums, bass, and even some rhythm guitar and keyboards. And there we were. All of a sudden we said, we got an album.
Okay.
So I start shopping it around, and but it was the first thing that we just felt we had it. We still got it. We still have that spark, and when we make music, something happens, and it's just there.
Well, and again, I have not heard the whole record. I've just heard the 2 songs, but I will say this: I think people are going to be vastly misled when they hear that you two are working together, that it's going to sound like a record from 1989. It does not. I think you guys have both grown greatly as musicians. Was for you and for Harry, as you were trading sound, ideas, did you purposely look to not try to recreate what you did? in the first Shotgun Messiah thing to and just really create with where you are at now?
I would say yes, you're correct with that.
Okay.
And the thing is, just like you said, a lot of it. We're both me and Harry, of course, and I think that the whole band from Shaka Messiah days, we're proud of what we did back then. Of course,
Sure.
it was fantastic. It was fun. It was great. This is a different time, a different era. We have experienced other things down the line, and so on and so forth. And neither me and Harry has ever been like people that are looking back too much. We're more like, okay, where are we today, or where can we go from here? So we never have been like stagnant and go like, are we gonna sound like the first album? Or are we gonna? Honestly, we didn't have a plan at all. That what we did was like, let's see if we can work together. And then these ideas and songs came about, and Harry has his way of playing. I have my way of singing. I've never been a David Coverdale singer or
Sure.
Sebastian Bach singer at all. I'm more like an attitude singer. And well, this album, I don't do the typical Zinny Zan scream, because I felt like it's been out there. Everyone knows what I can
Hmm.
do, and I can still do it, and I can still do it with the old songs. But that's not where we were, and we just wanted to create something where we are at now.
Okay.
But then again, at the same time, I would say that people will recognize a little bit of the Shaka Messiah. The attitude is there, and of course, Harry's guitar.
Sure. And that was one of the things I wanted to ask you about. I mean, guitar, like the guitar nerds of the world, they love Harry. They
I'm a guitar
absolutely.
nerd myself, so hey.
Well, there you go. I mean, he's not when you ask common people, you get the Eddie Van Halen, George Lynch,
Mhm.
Yngwie Malmsteen,
Yeah,
whoever, Satriani. I don't think common people realized back then how good Harry was then and how
you're
much more
absolutely
he's
correct.
grown. You know,
You're absolutely correct. You're spot on there, Chris. You're really spot on there.
Sure. Well, for you then, I mean, you know it. You've known it. You've known him, basically your whole adult life to know how good he is. Does
Yes.
that open the door for you as a writer, even over the last 10, 15 years to have somebody that unbelievably talented that can adapt to whatever you come up with?
It absolutely does. And to put that in perspective a little bit, I could say I've been blessed in many ways, since I am a guitar nerd myself.
Hmm.
I had played with Key Marcello in my band Easy Action.
Sure.
I have played with Pontus Norgren from Hammerfall in my Insane Clan. I've been played with Stefan Bergström from Skin Trade, and Rob Marcello, and all of these guys are brilliant guitar players, and Martin Tomander from Electric Boys and so on. And when it comes to Harry, there's something special there, and it's always. And I don't know, I think we find there's probably something between us that I don't know if he can explain it, but we hear each other every time. When I do something, he hears where I want to go, or he understands that this is needed here. And I feel like I do the same thing when he comes up with something. And I think that's just a fantastic thing that's there for us.
Sure.
And Harry, that's the thing with Harry, I would say, that's makes him stand out from a lot of other fantastic guitar players, that sometimes he just let things be for a while, take it easy, and then he
Mhm.
comes up with a lick here and there and then back again. So he's not constantly doing all these things. and
Sure.
and he's just brilliant with his guitar work,
Sure.
and
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 the arrangement, and of course it helps.
oh,
It makes you feel that you can go out of the box,
mhm.
because anything can happen, and he will understand, and he also he does.
Sure.
So yeah.
And I always thought that one of the reasons maybe he didn't ascend to that level as as a recognized guitar
Mhm.
player
Mhm.
had a lot to do with working with Tim Skold, obviously, who's such an industrial icon that it almost took the attention away from him a little bit, to focus more on, and you got to remember the timing in that too, 91, 92. That's right about when Nine Inch Nails comes up. And,
Yes.
I mean, there was so much industrial, and Skold was one of those guys,
Oh yeah,
and,
absolutely.
maybe it took the attention away from him getting the recognition that he probably should have got.
Hey metalheads, tired of waiting for new episodes? Crave the real raw classic metal show? For just $4.99 a month, you can become a CMS VIP. You get every episode a full week early, completely uncensored, and 100% commercial free. It's the only place to interact directly with the show, plus you score the Fast Pass, so your song requests get bumped straight to the head of the line on every live version. So what are you waiting for? Subscribe right now at classicmetalshow.locals.com and become a CMS VIP today.
Yeah, that could be. At the same time, I think the both of us striving to find something new, something more, something new, interesting. Like, I think we all had that, both Tim, me, Harry, and even Styx, that we always want to develop and, not stay at the same level all the time.
Right.
And I think they were both traveling into the industrial thing more. And at the same time, we have to remember that everything changes almost overnight with the grunge thing.
True.
Guitar Heroes were no more. So I would say, would we have come out earlier than the release of 1989 for the Shaka Messiah? Let's say 1986, I would say Harry would absolutely have been up there. So it might have a little bit with the industrial thing that you're saying, but also I would say the whole music scene then.
Just the timing, yeah.
Yeah, the timing of it.
Definitely. Well, let's talk about this record here. I know I'm rambling about the past. Let's bring it to today. I want to start with the videos. Regardless of if people like the songs or not, and I do like the songs, but regardless of that, they should watch them just because they can watch you and see how much fun you were having making. It's very clear you were having a ball doing those shoots, the one on the roof and stuff. It looks like you were having a great time.
Well, I am. Again, first having a long lost brother on your side again, that's fantastic. And the music we do together makes me laugh. It's fantastic to be at this age. I'm 62 years old and still do this. And I love it. I passed my words there. But God, I love every second of it. And again, also to show people that, some people might say that, okay, that they tried to cash in on saying that. No, we've never been interested in that. If we would have loved that, then we'd do a revival of Shaka Messiah or using those songs and this and that. We're not about that. We want to show where we are today. And we could easily have done something else, but we do this for the love of the music and for the love of seeing what can we come up with. And I think, just like you say, and of course, I love the two singles. I think they're fucking brilliant, both of them. So, yeah.
Right on. And it clearly shows in the videos and obviously it sounds like you're having fun writing. Sounds like, and this is not new for you, but it really sounds like everything is sort of tongue in cheek. I mean, the two that I've heard, kind of are lyrically fun. Some of the titles lead me to believe, like I Am the Shit and She Walks with Violence and whatnot, makes me clearly think that you're kind of doing the flex of, hey, I'm still here type of a thing. Accurate?
You hit the nail right on the head there, Chris. And of course it is. When you come to a certain age when nothing bothers you, you don't have to prove anything, and I don't care what people think. Because, I have gone through this life with different things, some ups, some downs, and some, of course, in betweens. And when you're just happy where you are and you don't care, and then you can say that, well, I am the shit. I'm very good at this and we're having a great time. And, either you love it and you party along with us and have a great time, or you don't. And it doesn't matter. I don't care. You find another band or you love this band. And that's what it's all about, really. And it's just that let loose. And we do. Now you haven't maybe heard the whole album, but of course it's a little versatile here and there because we feel like, again, let's do what the hell we want from our hearts.
Right. Is it more fun now that you're not trying to take over the world? In 1989, I'm very much thinking that you guys recorded that record thinking we're going to put it out, we're going to sell 20 million copies, we're going to be the biggest band on the planet. I mean, that's what every band does at the beginning. Where now you can do it just for kind of the love of doing it and to get yourself back out and play shows. And obviously you've got this Sweden Rock thing coming, which is, amazingly huge, big shows. Yes. So now my hunch, and tell me if I'm wrong, but my hunch is Now it's for fun, where before it was more business. Is that accurate or no?
You're absolutely right again. And Shaka Messiah, we came from Sweden. We all knew, all four of us, what we wanted to do and what we wanted to. For us, it was we ate, slept, and drank Shaka Messiah 24 hours. And it was do or die. So
Right.
every time you were up on that stage, it was do or die. We're gonna win this. Everything was about we're gonna show everyone that we earned this place, and we earned to go to America and stay there and so on and so forth, which was fantastic at the time. It really was. But at the same time, right, just to say now, to go up in front of like 7,000 or 8,000 people or whatever it was at Sweden Rock now with the festival, and for the first time they see Harry Cody. We only played one gig, in Sweden before we left for America. And we can go out there and we do squeeze and tease and I don't care about nothing, nowhere fast, and so on. And you have a ball. You have a ball. But like you said before, we got nothing to prove that, we do whatever we want to do. And it's fantastic. So, of course, it is another kind of feeling. And it's just pure joy. Absolutely.
Right. Definitely. Tell me about working with Chris Laney, who's obviously fabulous.
Yeah. Again, Chris Laney and I, we go way back, and we've done a lot of things together and so on and so forth. And he hated me for not letting me in the beginning, because when he heard about this, because it was a lot of hush hush, to be honest, because both me and Harry, we didn't want any pressure around this. So we said, let's keep our mouth shut. We see, can we work together? What comes out of it? Will we have the spark there and the attitude and everything? And we saw that, yeah, we do. So we worked with a drummer and a producer friend of mine, Björn Höglund, who played drums on the album. We worked with him, and then we worked with the bass player, Nalle Paulson, who also plays on the whole entire album. And for a long time, we were the three of us doing these things. And Harry and I, we wrote the things, and they were helping out with bass and drums and so on. And Chris knew about it, and he goes, Zinny, why are you not inviting me? We've been friends for so many years. You know that I'm good. You know that I'm probably the biggest Shaka Messiah fan in the world. Why are you doing this to me? We're good friends. And I said, Chris, honestly, that's the reason why. Because you're probably Shaka Messiah #1 fan in the world.
Sure.
And I don't want this to be a revival in any way, like sounding like that. And he goes like, for God's sake, you know me, give me a shot. You have to give me a shot at this. Right. So I told Harry, and I said, like, what do you say? Can we're going to produce the thing, but I have a friend here he wants to get a shot of the mix. And I go, would that friend be Chris Laney? Because he knew about him, of course, as well. And I said, well, that friend might be Chris Laney. And I said, well, give him a shot. And what he did was amazing, of course. He's fantastic. It's really good. And it was on me, my fault, because I didn't let him in the beginning. I really didn't. And forgive me. But he proved me wrong. And sometimes I love to be wrong.
Sure. Did he prove you wrong immediately, or did you find yourself at times having to kind of guide him away from what he knew of you guys?
No, not in a million years, because the thing was that when I spoke to him, I said, I know how good you are. You know that. And I know you're very good, but I don't want this to sound like everything else you have done. And I want you to understand that this is what and he goes like, I know exactly what I'm doing. I know exactly what you need. And Harry said the same thing. He just said, Zinny, that's something about that guy. So,
right.
Yeah. So it worked out tremendously good.
Excellent. Well, with the new record, Zinny, obviously you put out a new record. The objective is to get out there and show it to people, get out there, play shows. Tell me where we're at with that. If you're going to be able to do shows, whether it's here or obviously probably mostly in Europe, I'm assuming, but how is that going to work for you logistically? And is it even affordable now? Everything I hear is how crazy costs are everywhere just to tour.
Well, it is. Just like I say, it's not an ideal situation for a touring band today. It really isn't. It's a lot of work, and you have to get the things together really to to make it happen, not to make a lot of money for yourself as a musician, but to make the whole circus work, and to everyone gets paid for it, and also for the clubs or the venues to don't lose money. So that's a kind of a hard thing. But yes, we have a tour coming up, and first of all, it will be dates in Sweden. So like the 6 or 7 biggest cities in Sweden, first of all, and we will start that in October, late October. And what we are aiming for really is festivals for next year, because the album's going to be out July 24th. So we are looking for the festivals next year, Europe, America, wherever we can, to try to catch the biggest audience possible, of course. But we will do clubs and venues, and right now we have dates in Sweden. We are looking for other dates, and we are negotiating with things in Europe as well. We have a few, questions from America as well, from the US.
Excellent.
Which is very, very nice. But then, of course, you need to look into, the financial.
$10,000 for a visa or whatever.
well, there you go. The thing. So, in order to make that go around, it's very hard. It's fantastic when I see on the Facebook or Instagram for Stan Cody, and they go like, you got to come to the, Philadelphia or to Pittsburgh or whatever. And of course, we would love to. We absolutely would. That's, we love this album, me and Harry. We love what we have done, but there's nothing better to be on stage. That's why we come alive, really. And that's what we want to do. We want to be there in front of you guys. Right. But as you say, financially, it's very hard. It's very hard, to go to America and play. We would need at least, from 7 to 10 gigs at least to even go, status quo, so break even.
Right.
And but we're working on it, and we will see what But now, as you say, the easiest thing right now is European dates, and that's what we're aiming for right now.
Absolutely. Zinny, let me ask you one that's away from the current project, but it's just something I need to ask you. Yeah. I thought the Zan Clan was fantastic. I honestly think it's the best thing you've done personally. Both Wasteland and We Are the Zan Clan. I love them. I still play them all the time.
Thank you.
Why do you think that they did not connect even with the Shotgun Messiah people from what? That was about 8 years later or whatever it was after you left Shotgun Messiah. Why do you think it just didn't catch on? Because I honestly think it's better than especially City of Wasteland. I will argue with anybody that's just better than what you did with Shotgun Messiah. And I get in a lot of arguments about that, but why do you think it didn't connect on the same level?
Well, it's hard for me to say. All of these are my babies, kind of.
Sure.
And you're in different situations when you write different things and so on and so forth. But I would say, to go back to the Citizen of Wasteland album, I would say that was absolutely the wrong time. I think we released that one in 94. And 94 was like the heydays of grunge.
Right.
No one wanted to see this guy with his spiky hair, and who the hell is he? So I was not the flavor of the day or week or whatever, sure. not the flavor of the minute. So that, I think Citizen of Wasteland was something that just came out absolutely at the wrong time. And when it comes to We Are Zan Clan, Are You, that one came out in 2005-ish, I believe, something like that. And it did fairly good in Europe. In the States, we had fantastic reviews of it. Every review we read, me and Chris Laney, who were the main writers for that album, and we fantastic reviews. But it seemed like no one wanted to see us live, and I don't know if they ever bought the record or whatever. But it's so I don't really know what happened there. But in Europe, we were opening up for Queensryche. We played with Whitesnake and so on and so forth. So we had a good following in Europe, but it never really took off, like you said. So sometimes even if you like yourself, I like the second Zan Clan album very, very much, and sometimes it's just not the right time. I don't know.
It almost leaves it out there, especially in today's age where everything's digital and you have all 10 zillion songs on your phone. bands like yours, your collective bands that you've been in, now can get discovered by a whole new crew. You know, even in the old days, as much as we all complain that we wish it was the old days and wish we were buying albums and all that stuff, one thing that was always lost in that is if an album had been out 6 months and you hadn't heard it, you never were going to hear it. You just never discovered stuff after the initial tour, which was right after the release. Now, I mean, kids are... I run into so many kids that are young and they're listening to, Megadeth or Motley Crue, or, they're discovering these bands now, which is crazy. Yeah. And it opens the door for a guy like you that just pops up in when you're listening to Spotify or whatever. No?
Yeah, like you say, it is fantastic. And, of course we saw that, me and Harry as well, when we did the Sweden Rock Festival now in the June 6th, right, a couple of weeks back. And you see the people older than us, you see the people in our age, and you see people that probably weren't even born when we released Shotgun Messiah album in 1989. And you go like, what the heck? This is cool. They're here, right. And they heard of us either from their parents or whatever. I don't know, but it's absolutely fantastic. It's a thrill. It's really good. And again, it's nothing like seeing a good live band. And that's what we want to be. And that's what I think we are right now.
And it has to be refreshing or encouraging when you see like a 15-year-old kid singing the words because they've actually listened to it.
Yeah, of course. And when, as much as I loved it the first time when I came to the US and the first time we were on a tour, I think the first gig we did was Dallas City Limits or whatever it was in Dallas. And you see people singing the things that you wrote on your room in Sweden, million miles away. Right. And you go like, wow, this is so cool. Today, when you're in my age, you see these youngsters and they love the things that you've done before. And they're taking in the new stuff as well. It's absolutely fantastic. As a musician yourself, you love those moments. It's just, that's why you're doing it. Because again, sometimes this business can be what it is. And we already been through talking about the financial stuff of it. You damn well know that you're never going to be extremely rich on this one. Very few are. So, but it's the love of the music and the thrill of it. And you get happy. You see the people out there being happy. And it's just a fantastic time.
Right on. Well, Zinny, here on the show, as much as we just praised Spotify, we tell everybody here, if you're going to listen on Spotify, that's fine. Listen once or twice, but then go buy something. Buy a shirt, buy a hat, buy a CD, a vinyl, whatever it is. Where do we tell people is the best place to go to buy something?
I would say that right now, go to the record company's Frontiers Music.
Okay.
They have a lot of stuff right there now. We also have it on our site, on our Facebook, San Cody. And there you can find links for it. And there will be a lot more coming up very soon. But as you can understand, we've been very busy first doing the album, doing the videos. And then for the first, we did our first show and that was Sweden Rock. So, you have to be prepared when you go out for thousands and thousands of people as the first gig. But right now we were working a lot of it. But Frontiers Music, first of all, and then go to San Cody on the Facebook side. We also have it on the Instagram, San Cody. And there you can find links for it.
Right on. Well, one more time, everybody. It is Zan Cody, Beautiful and Damned. It is out July 24th. That doesn't mean you can't pull your credit card out right now and pre-order it. So get over there and pre-order it. And Zinny, this has been fun, man. Thanks for joining me here on Chris Akin Presents.
Thank you very much, Chris.
Look, everybody, I have spent 30 years in the loudest rooms in the world, and I can tell you one thing for certain. I've got zero time for weak coffee or woke nonsense. Guess that's actually two things I don't care. If you're like me, you're tired of giving up your money to corporate sellouts who hate your values. You want a brew that's as unapologetic as a Marshall stack cranked to 11. Enter Blackout Coffee. This is bold, fresh roasted, 100% American grit in a cup. It's fuel for patriots who refuse to back down. Whether you're hitting the Patriot medium roast or the massive high caffeine kick of brutal awakening, this is the taste of real freedom and hard-hitting flavor. Stop supporting the bland beans of companies that don't stand for you. Head over to blackoutcoffee.com right now. Use my code, which is in the description, for an exclusive discount. You can save. It's time to wake up unstoppable. Blackout Coffee, folks. Fuel for patriots. Get yours now.